everybody, and welcome to another Treetop Talk here at the Sweet Spot. The ducks are fed, the chickens are fed, and now it's time to feed your head. In this episode, I want to dive into how my stream of consciousness is overflowing its banks. Some people may want to pigeonhole me, and pigeonholes do work if you are a pigeon. Now, I could make it easy on myself and go do stand-up at a hospice care and then be able to walk away telling folks I killed them. But I would point out that the people who say money is no object certainly seem to have an awful lot of objects. Being politically correct these days is a straight-up oxymoron, and there are plenty of oxes out there acting like morons. But let me obfuscate rather than be clear. The reason conservatives don't like liberals is because they see the left as never being right. But do you know that if you only have a right wing and only have a left wing, you'll be going in circles. And when you make ends meet, you are literally going in circles. Unless you encounter four right angles. There's no such thing as a left angle, and maybe that's why people on the right are considered squares. Just a guess. But it does make me wonder why it is that it's rednecks who are listening to bluegrass. I will give credit where credit is due, or at least where I can get the best interest rates. The people who are staunch Republicans will stand for the flag, kneel for the cross, and bend over for their party. Hey, let's give them a hand for finding the benefits for being spineless. But honestly, it must be challenging to be so flexible when you're so straight-laced. And not the kind of lace that brings on the wonderful visuals and trails. Never forget, the winner of the rat race is always a rat. Now, I could point to my family of origin as being the cause of my idiosyncrasies, and though my mother showered me with her attention, it felt like acid rain. And not the kind of acid that brings on the wonderful trails and visuals. We've all heard that a picture paints 1,000 words, but did you know that a video can paint 250,000 words? And it's only real life that will leave you speechless. I wanted to go to a quantum strip club because I heard there was a performer there, a Mobius stripper. She took off her clothes and put them back on. And you should be proud of yourselves if you even got that joke. Speaking of non sequiturs, is vomit something I can bring up with you? Before I go any further, I would like to talk about our use of expressions and how they can be very confusing for people. Is it just me, but have you noticed that when people are on talk shows, they say, at the end of the day, and then go on to make their point? What does that mean? How long is that day? Some people take off at 2 p.m. And what about the shift workers? At the end of the day, they're going to work. Let's just cut the bullshit and say, after all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do. Another one is when people on talk shows say, the reality is, and the truth of the matter is. Hey, we all know that one person's reality is another person's nightmare. Take a Muslim or a kosher Jew and put them into a barbecue festival. For them, the reality is this is hell. And for the attendees, they're in hog heaven because they're eating the carcass of a hog that is now in heaven. When I hear it's all downhill from here, I'm excited because it means I can coast. I don't have to keep pedaling to get up to the top of the hill. Skiing is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they all know the customers are very happy about it being all downhill from here. Who the hell's going to pay to just keep climbing up a hill? There's no such thing as uphill skiing. A friend of mine told me about a dessert that she said was so good, she goes, it's to die for, which made me think that if she was dead, I was going to get her dessert. Isn't a dish so good that we should say it's to live for? Doesn't that really make more sense? And finally, why is it called a shit-eating grin? Who do you know in your life who's had a mouthful of crap and then smiled about it? It has got to stain your teeth worse than coffee. And what kind of mouthwash would you need to get rid of the taste? I mean, something obviously I could later use to clean my toilet bowl. But it does not stop us from telling people to eat shit. Maybe in the hopes that we can give them something to smile about. Thanks for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. Aloha, everybody. Wash your hands, wear your mask, love one another, and especially love yourself. We'll see you next Tuesday. Aloha.